want to ask you a truly authentic, thought-provoking question. Do you ever think about deepening your connections with people and how you're showing up for other people? And just in general, how you typically ask a simple question day to day. I want to talk about how asking the right questions can transform your relationships or any relationship. In other words, how we're showing up to the people around us, friends, family, and relationships, as well as with strangers. So I just wanted to share this with you all on today because I feel like it could impact how we definitely connect with others. Have you ever been in that conversation where you ask someone the simple question, how are you? And you get that automatic response, that no-brainer response, which is nothing wrong with that. But the typical answer is, I'm fine. I'm doing good, thanks. And from the day to day, it's such a familiar exchange. It's the typical answer. But if we're truly honest, it doesn't go very deep. Because a lot of times, most people don't want to go deep. But again, if you ever want to think about diving deeper and looking past yourself, your issues, your dilemmas, the things that you're going through each and every day, and look to somebody else and think about them, it can truly transform your life. It invites in a vulnerability, not only of yourself, but also to the person you're asking it to. It's always a polite yes, but sometimes it feels like we're just moving through literal motions with our word, and there's no emotion attached. But don't get me wrong here, there's nothing bad about asking someone, how you are. It's a kind gesture, but I've noticed that it often keeps us at what we like to call surface level, even with people that we care about, because we know what the typical answer is going to be. Now, there's that one in a few that actually may start to blurt out and give you all of the things, which at that time, most of you or most of us will be taken aback because you're not expecting it. But what if we all thought for a moment and think about that question? Because we've both been on both sides of this conversation. We've all said, I'm fine, when we're not. We're smiling when we're really not happy. We're heavy at heart. And we are just going through the day with the weight of the world, carrying it on our shoulders, in our eyes, in our body language. Because the right question really hasn't been asked by most people. And I think part of the reason is because, again, the question, how are you? It just doesn't give us space to truly open up. So I was thinking, what if we asked a different question? What if instead of sticking to the usual quote unquote question, how are you? What if we created a moment so that that person that we're approaching in that moment could feel seen, that they could feel like they can open up? What if we really invited in a real and true question to be answered? Not just being polite, but truly wanting to help somebody else. So if the next time you're catching up with somebody, instead of saying, how are you? What about this? What's been on your mind lately? Or what's been challenging you for the week? And imagine, Just imagine how those questions could change the whole conversation. Because instead of prompting someone to give a quick surface level answer, you're inviting them to actually share what's going on really inside. Because at that moment, they have to stop, and they literally have to pause, and they have to think. They reflect back before they can even answer. How did it feel? How did it make you feel like they truly cared? Because these are really the kind of connections that we are really craving from the people that we are in relationships with. And when I say relationships, I don't always mean man and woman, woman and man. I mean with your children, with your spouses, with your friends, and with your family, and also even with co-workers. That we're just not having these surface level exchanges. We don't just want to be asked how we are out of habit. We really don't. There are so many people out here who are hurting right now, who truly want to be seen and they want to be heard. And it's not always for you to solve the problem. Sometimes people just need a simple place to vent, to get it out. They just want to be heard. And again, they want to know that they are seen. And also that another person, a literal another human being, genuinely really wants to know. We're all going through something big and small, and sometimes it is hard to bring it all up without being asked. Because we know life is stressful, it's complicated, it's situations, it's circumstances, it's overwhelming. The world is going in so many different ways. We're being pulled here and there. And even though we live in this world where we're more connected than ever, especially by social media, so many people, even in this moment, actually are feeling alone. They literally feel alone. They turn off the devices, they turn off the televisions, the lights go out, it's dark, and they don't even want to sleep. Because all of those feelings, all of those thoughts and those emotions, those hurts and those pains, that loneliness, they start to really feel it. It's in a place where it seems like nobody really truly understands what you're going through. Even though you're surrounded by people, you can have millions of followers, thousands, but you're truly still feeling alone. And it could be just because you're not creating enough space for a conversation to be had that's deeper, to form the deeper connections. I know for me, I've had seasons where I wish someone would have asked me the right question, where I could feel like it was okay to be honest with my struggles, with my fears, and with my hopes. It was in those moments when someone didn't ask the right question, and wow, how I think about literally how much of a difference it could have made. Because it would give me or you the permission to truly be real. And it was just like in this moment, it was just something that I was thinking about in this late hour where it's dark outside and I'm literally sitting here alone, and this thought just came into my head. It reminded me that I don't have to carry literally my burdens alone, and others don't have to carry them alone. God literally didn't design us to be alone. And that's what I want for all of us. I want community. I desire, I pray for community. I want us to be kind to one another. I want us to be the kind of people who show up for each other, not just with these pleasantries, but with true care, love, kindness, and compassion. I want us to ask the questions and invite others to share what's truly real, even if it's messy, even if it's hard to talk about. Because it's in those conversations that we truly build trust and that we can show compassion for one another. And it's a space and a place and a time and a moment where we can make room for healing to begin. So when we ask someone what's been on your mind lately, you're not checking a box off. You're saying, I care about you and I'm ready to listen. You're saying, your story truly matters to me and I'm here for it. And you know what? That is so powerful. That is what you can do to help someone else. So when you're thinking about yourself in that moment, think about that there's someone else out there who's hurting even more than you, who is feeling lower than you. And this is a huge way for us to communicate with one another. And it can make a huge impact. It's about being ready to listen. And I mean truly, really listen. And to listen without judgment. And not being distracted about when it's your time to speak. Again, it's about giving people space to be themselves in all of the mess, in all of the issues. And with that, something beautiful can truly transpire. We can offer grace when someone shares something that is so hard. We can celebrate them also when they had a win. It's literally about truly being fully present, loving, and kind again, and compassionate for one another. So I believe that when we start to really have these kinds of conversations with one another, something again also changes. It changes in us. We start to feel more connected. We start to feel more grounded and more in tune with the people who are around us, the people that we are truly encountering on a daily basis. And the relationship changes. They become deeper. They truly do. Ones that aren't just based on these superficial things. Oh, your hair is pretty, your clothes look great, your makeup is on point, your house is beautiful. Those are surface level things. We want to get to the inner stuff, the things that really matter to people. We want to be the people out here who are helping the hurting, those who are literally falling apart moment by moment, day by day. Those who are out here are lonely and they just need someone to truly see them and hear them and show up for them. So my challenge for all of us, including myself, is the next time you're talking to a friend, a family member, a coworker, anyone in your relationship or you're having a relationship with, someone you don't know as well, let's try to ask something a little bit deeper. Maybe it's not that what's on your mind or how's your heart doing with everything that's going on with life. It could be what's something you've been struggling with, especially with those who are close to you. And you could offer them a hand of prayer. You could offer them a hug. You don't know how far, when someone is truly hurting, a simple extension of your arms to them and a hug matters in that moment. You don't have to push hard. Just a gentle invitation for them to open up and for you to show up. And that's been my thought on tonight. Let's create a community where we see each other. And I do mean really see each other and hear each other. And not just give a word passing through someone else. Oh, I'm so sorry about so and so. Instead of saying that, go to that person and let them know, I see your hurt. I see your pain. And I heard about your issue. And I'm truly praying for you. And even in that moment, show up for God and pray for Him in that moment. It doesn't have to be nothing big, extravagant, or overwhelming prayer. Just open up your mouth and literally pray a simple prayer to them. You just don't know how far that goes for someone that is in a moment of pain and despair and suffering. So let's show up for one another in our love with truth. Again, knowing that sometimes it takes just the right question in the right moment to change someone's day or the trajectory of their life. Because it does matter. So thank you for showing up for me on today and listening to this message. And I hope this resonates with you. All my love from Shenell.